Hey YouTubers, Starfire here. So I'm going to be reviewing the last 2 episodes of Supergirl. Can't believe I'm saying that. So it is season 6, episode 19, The Last Gauntlet, and season 6, episode 20, Kara. Oh my gosh. So these 2 episodes were so good, especially the very last one, Kara. So many great surprises, so many references, so many amazing things. I was so happy. I cried. I was a mess, but it was amazing, and I thought it was so good. I thought it was a great way to end the show, and I'm so glad that they were given the time to actually give us a good ending instead of getting canceled and then, ending on a cliffhanger. And so it makes me super happy when we get that. There's so many shows there's been so many shows where they get canceled after a few seasons and we don't get to see that true ending for them. And that's why I love that, with Brooklyn Nine-Nine and with, this and other shows that we really get to see that. And, I hope the same happens with Legends of Tomorrow and The Flash and, everything like that they get to choose when they want to end it and in their time, and they get a chance to really end that story in the way that they want to. So anyway, The Last Gauntlet. So we see Lex and Nixley, of course, trying to kidnap Esme. William's dead, trying to get... They take Esme because she has the love totem. And, Lex is willing to, freaking hurt her in order to get it. And Nixley's like, hell no. Which I totally support her on that. And at least the way that she was, talking to her and dealing with her was, in a sweet way. And in a way that was not scaring her. And then we see Lex's mother, who doesn't like Nixley. Excuse me. And, because Lex has never liked aliens, and he's told her that he's in love. He should not have told his mother that, because his freaking mother is going to, he got all of his stuff from her. She's just as conniving and lying and a bitch, and she is just as bad as he is, if not worse sometimes. Although I think Lex is still worse. Because he's downright evil, and I love it. At least with John Cryer playing him. But anyway, she goes to her, warns her about Lex. Then, what he tries to do to Esme, what he uses the fifth dimensional energy to try to get it out of her, and he's able to get it, she's still mad at him and feels that, she was betrayed, even though they did get the love totem and he was right. But he's a jerk, and yeah. So then they go to the bridge. Alex is willing to take the totems to them in exchange for getting Esme back, which I totally understand her reasoning, and I totally understand why she was willing to do that, because her daughter means everything to her. She told Kara, I would literally give the world for her. I don't care if the world is messed up. I want her to be safe. And, neither of them knew 100% what the outcome was going to be, obviously, because it's Lex. And, so they get there, going to give it to her. Then he freaking has, blows up the bridge. And then, there's 3 of the stones. Nixley has one, Lex has one, Kara has one. They knock Kara down. then they have it. They go off using their power. Their power is sucking. Whenever they're fighting and using that power, it's taking all of those things from everybody else. So people are losing hope. People are losing truth, love, all these things. And so, and I love how when Kara was going to do the thing with the satellite, and she, because of all this hearing and all of this stuff, she thinks faster and all that when it's happening. She heard a girl on the street be like, "Stop, Supergirl, please don't keep doing this." And that made her realize that what she was doing was not the right thing. And I love that because, that was not the way to do it. And, and then they think of something else and, to try to make sure everybody can hear what she's saying. So Brainy uses, the crown so that he can project it for everybody to hear. And then, Lena has her spell that she uses so that everybody can hear it. And she basically empowers them to work as a team and fight for themselves and, make humanity a better place. Not a better place. Make humanity better and make the world a better place by working together to save humanity. And, so, and I love that when, they bring it, they're fighting Lex and Nixley. She brings in all of these, extra things from the fifth dimension, the dragon and the big monster and all this stuff. And then you just see you just see them being taken out one by one. And it's Wynn and it's James and it's freaking, Mon-El and even Kara and Kara and Alex's mom, who is played by Helen Slater. And I love when she was shooting the gun and she's like, "Some say that I have superpowers." And Alex is only in the movies. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they totally made a reference to the Supergirl movie that Helen Slater was in where she played Supergirl. It's so freaking awesome. I loved that. That was so great. I was not expecting that. Yeah. So it was just great to see everybody come back. I knew that James was coming back and I knew that Wynn was coming back and Mon-El, but I didn't know about some other people. And so, it makes sense that their mom would come back because, for the wedding and everything. But, I just didn't expect her to see her fighting. And then all the people coming and being like, "Yep, we're going to help you." And then Lex opens the Phantom Zone and the Phantoms come out. But instead of attacking the Super Friends and all the people, they go after Lex and Nixley. And they're like, "No, why are you attacking us?" And it's because they prey on fear. And everybody else wasn't afraid. But Nixley and Lex were, and so they took them to the Phantom Zone, and they're back in the Phantom Zone, stuck there, for who knows how long. But it is Lex, and Lex tends to figure out a way out of things, and he's seen the future. So, but I'm sure he didn't predict this outcome for his future. He predicted that he would win, obviously, because he's Lex Luthor. So yeah. I don't know how everybody feels about Lex's ending. Personally, I think that, isn't that kind of a throwback on the movies? Didn't Lex get sent to the Phantom Zone in the original Superman movie? I can't remember, but I think he did. So if that's the case, it's literally a throwback to the movie, to the OG movie. So, yeah. Which would also be cool. I didn't think about that when I was watching the episode. But, yeah. So, I think it's fitting. Because it's like they can't completely kill him or defeat him, because as long as there's iterations of Superman, Lex is always going to be around. Maybe not this version of Lex, but Lex in some form is always going to be there. And this gives them the opportunity to have Lex show up on Superman and Lois. And I know that John Cryer was asked about that, because I read a TV Line interview with him about, Lex's fate and everything in the finale. And he was saying how, if they provide good storylines for him to come on that, then he would totally do it. So, this is they can figure out something. Obviously, I haven't watched Superman and Lois, and I don't know the time period or anything like that, but yeah. So, all I'm saying is, I don't think we've seen the last of John Cryer as Lex. And frankly, that makes me super happy, because I think he's an amazing Lex. And I always want to see him play Lex, at least in the TV iterations of Superman. So yeah. Anyway, since they defeated Nixley and Lex pretty early on in the episode, then we have Alex and Kara's wedding, which was so, so beautiful and amazing. And I cried, and oh my gosh, it was just amazing. Because they kind of skipped ahead a few weeks, and Kara was hearing people on the news, like there was a cat stuck in a tree or a dog or something, and she was going to go save it. But then they said that a team of people, came together and were going to use a pulley system to get it down. So she didn't need to. And she felt like, what's my purpose now that I have empowered everybody else to live their truth? And then, oh my gosh. Okay. It's been 2 days. If you haven't already seen the episode, I'm sorry. And I'm totally going to spoil this, because I had no idea that this person was coming back. We hoped that they would come back in the finale, because we had mentioned it in the past. But I totally did not expect it to happen. We see Cat Grant again. We see Callista. Oh my gosh! I literally freaked out. I texted Raven, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Cat Grant is in the finale. Oh my gosh. It was the best surprise. Seriously, the best surprise. I was, so happy. Oh my gosh. It was it was amazing. And what I love about that too is that, first she calls to offer her, saying that she bought Catco back. She wants Kara to be her editor-in-chief. And she wants her to be able to write about the things that matter in the world. And literally, that's all Kara's wanted to do. And so it's her dream to be able to do that, but she doesn't want to accept it. And, Alex is like, you totally need to. And she's like, I feel deflated. I feel like, ever since I told these people to do this, there's no need for me to be going out and doing that stuff. And, she's just like, well, I know that you'll choose the right path and everything. And then she's still struggling at Alex and Kelly's wedding. And Kat calls again. And she's like, you haven't signed the contract. Why aren't you doing this? And Kara, is explaining it, and she is like, I don't know how to merge these two things. And I love the fact that Kat is like, oh yeah, I totally knew you were Supergirl. Like, we knew that, remember, way back at, I don't even remember what the end of what season. It was season 2 or something like that. Like, the finale for season 2, I think, where she's like, bye, Supergirl. And I was so happy that she mentioned it. And she's like, it was so obvious. The glasses, like, you know, without, just, like, you just need the bushy eyebrows and groucho marks and all that. And I was like, thank you for acknowledging that. Because seriously, she does not look any different with the glasses. So I love the fact that Cat Grant was the one to say that. Like, that totally validated my argument about that. And I'm not saying that other people haven't thought that, because I'm sure they have. But I just love that it was validated in that scene with Cat Grant being the one to do it. But what I was saying is, what I love is that, yes, Alex and Kara have this amazing bond. And they help each other, and they're able to, you know, really convince each other and encourage each other to do what they need to do. But like Alex said, you know, she's the only person who can make this choice for herself, Kara. And, you know, what Cat Grant told her was just so encouraging and mentor-like. And, like, Cat was always a huge mentor to her. And I love the fact that, you know, she has her way about her, but she cares, and she was able to get Kara to really understand that she can combine those two things. She can do good for the world while also being the journalist that she is and being the editor-in-chief, because she can totally make more of a difference that way. And, you know, basically showing Supergirl to the world. And then Lena comes. And if I wasn't a Kara and Lena shipper before, I totally am now. Because this last scene with them had so much potential for, like, shipping them. And I know the fan fiction is going to be crazy for that. But, like, Lena challenged her too. And she's like, of all the people, of all the friends that I've had, you're the one who's challenged me the most. And, you know, encouraged me and all this stuff. And, like, and then Lena said, you made me a better person. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't. And it was just so great. And then Kara was like, you know, I've always hid behind these glasses. Like, she's never fully, truly embraced who she is. Like, she can be Kara and she can be Supergirl. But she's always only shown two separate parts of herself to people. Aside from the people that knew that she was Supergirl. And so this was really empowering for her to realize that what she told everybody else, she needs to do for herself as well. And I love the fact that the people that really helped her and convinced her of that are Kat and Lena. Like, it was so perfect. Aside from all of that, I love that we got to see Win and Kara sing We Belong by Pat Benatar at Alex and Kelly's wedding. I love them. I love when they sing. Like, that was so great. Just allowing them to do that was so special. And of course, Melissa and Jeremy have amazing voices, and yeah. And so let's talk about the wedding now. So, oh my gosh. Okay, so Jean marries them. He officiates. Oh, so perfect. What he says about them, what he says about Alex, because he's totally like a father to her. And then just Kelly and Alex's vows to each other. Like, it was so beautiful, and I was crying, and it was amazing. I'm crying now. And yeah, I'm so happy for them. I'm so happy for Alex. And even though, you know, Kelly took a while to kind of grow on like both of us, on Raven and I, like, I think that by this point and by the end, she's great for her, and the acting is a lot better, and it's amazing, and I just I'm just so happy for them. Then, as you know, right after, like, they all kind of before the wedding, after they well, first off, right after they had helped with all the Lex and Nixley stuff, and they were getting back on their ship, like on Wynn's ship, to go back to the future. You know, and Nia, we had the Nia and Brady scene where, you know, because he was going to have to go back because of the big brain and because of the consequences of, like, staying, like, what it would be on the future and the big brain and all that. And so, like, I love Nia and Brainy so much. We both do. And, oh, it was so, so sad. But I'm so happy that they kissed, because I've been waiting for that for a while. For them to do that again, because it's been a while. And that he said, you know, I love you, Nia Null. And it was so beautiful. And I was just a mess. But then, you know, because he said he wasn't going to be able to go to the wedding. And so then, you know, as, like, everybody's getting set up and, like, you know, waiting for Alex and Kelly to come out and stuff, Nia looks really sad, because, like, that's when Kara and Wynn are singing, and he's like, I heard that you needed a +1 or whatever, and it was Brainy, and he shows up, and oh my God. He's like, you know, screw logic. You mean more to me than that. And I want to spend my time being with you. And she's like, well, what about the future? And, like, won't that affect the future if we're together? And he's like, the great thing about the future is it hasn't been written yet. Just like, it totally made me think of Back to the Future 3 when Doc Brown is like, your future hasn't been written yet. No one's has. Your future is whatever you make it. So make it a good one. Both of you. Yeah. So just, I was literally crying at both the Brainy and Nia scenes that we got. So that was great. I'm glad that they get to be happy and have their happy ending. I was so happy. I was like, oh no, we're not going to get that. And then we did. And it was just great. You know, and that moment with Kelly and James where he gives her the watch so that they can always have each other's back, and everything was so sweet. And there was just so many great things about the episode. And I love that, you know, as Kelly and Alex are about to leave in the car after they got married, Kara takes the glasses off and she just puts them down and they focus in on them. And then, you know, they show Kara's apartment and they're all together and they're playing, you know, the game that they always play, like charades or whatever. And, and then they show Cat Grant on the screen. And she's, like, introducing Kara as Supergirl to the world, as her editor-in-chief, and as Supergirl. And we get to see her on the screen without her glasses and being who she is, who she truly is, as Supergirl and Kara Danvers, and it ended. And that was just, it was great. It was so great. I'm sorry. I literally don't have anything bad to say about this episode. I think that it was a great finale, And I know not everybody's going to like it. I know not everybody's going to be happy with certain things because you can't please everyone. But I think overall, this was a really strong episode and a really good way to end the show. Because we knew that Alex and Kelly were going to get married in the finale. And we did know that a few people were coming back. But the surprises that we got, oh my gosh, it was amazing. And I love the fact, too, that, like, each one of them went off and, like, did their own endeavors. Like, Nia opened the Center for LGBTQ, and, you know, Lena did her thing, and then Andrea made an award for William, and all of that. Oh, and I do have to address that, you know, what Lena's mom said, because she did try to protect Lex, and got hurt, and she was telling, you know, Lena that she knew about her powers and she knew about her mom and everything. And she had, put talisman around to, like, siphon her powers and stuff. And she's like, every time, you know, you forgot, that light went out. And she's like, I'm telling you this to set you free so that you can truly be who you are and embrace that completely, because you're not fully doing that. And, you know, I'm glad she did that, because Lena really needed that. And I've really loved the journey that we've seen of Lena through the show. And I'm glad that she gets to fully embrace who she is. And I feel like this finale was just a lot about that in general. Like, just fully being empowered and embracing your truth and doing what's good for the world and for yourself and for everybody. And not being afraid to just be free and be who you are. And I think that it completely came full circle, and Kara got to fully just embrace that about herself. And I think that that's wonderful. And I love that Kat Grant and Lena were the ones to help her do that. So, yeah. I am sad that it's over. But I'm really happy with what we got. And, yeah. I mean, we only have 2 shows left that we're doing now, which is The Flash and Legends. And, yeah. So, since Raven is not caught up on Supergirl, we're probably gonna, when she's caught up and watched all of it, we're gonna do, like, another video where we just kind of talk about the show as a whole, and, like, so she gets to see the finale and, like, gets a chance to share and talk about it. So whenever she's able to get caught up on it and we're able to do that, we will upload that and talk about the show and, like, in general and all that stuff. So yeah, so it won't really be a review. It'll just kind of be more of, like, a recap of, like, the whole show and, like, our love about, like, what we loved about it. And I mean, I'm sure we will talk about the finale, because she'll probably love a lot of things that happened in it, just like I did. So yeah, but anyway, that's something to look forward to. So I can't say until next time, because it's over. We've had 3 shows end. Is it 3 or 2? We've had 3. We've had 3 shows end this year. Winona, The Outpost, and now Supergirl. Like, so sad. But anyway, I will say, always try to love yourself and be happy. Bye.